Hi, Paul Hefty here with 493 coaching course at Penn State, talking about evaluation methodologies and quality controls. We'll talk about what quality controls actually are, and then look at some evaluation and assessment methods, and lastly, most importantly, safety factors. First off, quality control is defined as a consistent evaluation or assessment of all areas and all the people involved in your organization. Again, what you're trying to do here is make sure that what you're trying to achieve is actually being achieved, and if not, where those weaknesses are and where you need to make improvements. So the three areas you need to consistently evaluate is your student athletes, of course, your staff, and then you've got to always remember to do yourself. So just a quick brainstorming workshop here is pause the video, and for 1 minute, just list as many types of evaluations that you're familiar with from your own experiences. And then also think of some different creative ways you could take ideas and or other things you've had outside of sport and put into that as a coach. So go ahead and get that done. All right. Now after you've done this brainstorming, let's look at a way you can plug in some of these ideas. This is a template, again, to talk about your different forms of evaluation. You can see here working with the student athlete, real simple as you start with goals preseason, and then you can evaluate, are they being met during the season, and then postseason, reevaluate and reassess. Another form of evaluation is in methodology, would be to look at the different statistical data you can use, along with video, along with the both written and verbal feedback. You would do the same thing then for your staff, and then you can see you would do the same thing for yourself. Again, make sure you're addressing the three parts of the year: preseason, in season, and postseason, because they're uniquely different. Here's an example of a template that I used when I was coaching in college, where I would go ahead and do a end of the season review. I would use this with my players. I would also use it with my staff, and I would use it with myself, where we would do an evaluation of where we've been, but more importantly then reassess strengths and weaknesses, and then where we are going. So again, you can see with the athletes, we're not only looking at sport, but we talk about academics, obviously, because they were in a learning environment. Need them to get a degree, want them to get a degree, most importantly. And then secondly, we're looking at how does everything we're doing fit in beyond their college experience as well, hopefully lifelong skills. Some resource reminders here for you as you're going into the design part of the portfolio with evaluation is you can go to the website of mine and go to the menu item Coach 101. There's coaching models with some great examples, along with leadership, fitness training. There's a section that I use in my consulting called the 3 R's and practice methods. There's tons of evaluation examples like the one I just showed you. Also quality controls that I used, a lot of statistical data information when I was a college coach. And then lastly, all these organizational templates, which you're welcome to use. They're in a PFD format, PDF format, I'm sorry, and then also in a Word doc so that you can go ahead and cut and paste and make your own adjustments to that. Remember, when we're doing assessment, that when you do use the template, we still have to use TRI. The template by itself only fulfills the illustration point. And you have to write this as if the reader has no idea about sport, has no idea about leadership. So first off, when you're using the templates as an illustration, first make sure you describe and give a discussion in detail about about evaluation, for example, and what you're doing and what's important with that, and then your philosophies on it. And then you need to make sure you cite some references to support your position and support these definitions. And then lastly, the illustration, when you fill in all these different grids, it serves as that concrete example of how you will implement this philosophy into your own program. Again, go ahead and use those. They're available both on the website and on Angel. The textbook itself is a great resource. There's a bunch of evaluation examples towards the back, page 187, 175 they start at. Lastly, make sure everything you're doing for every section addresses safety first. Again, We want to go back to the website. You'll see a section on legal issues in sport. And there's also the National Federation of High School Sports, the NFHS site that you've used for certs. SAPIC again has plenty. There's the class lectures. There's also all these outside resources that hopefully you've done. But remember, you want to start and finish every section with safety first and safety last. Lastly then, just one more reminder, what is a coaching portfolio? It is not a paper. What we're looking for here is to get insight on you as a coach, more importantly, what kind of person you are and what kind of leader you're going to be. It should be a direct reflection of those philosophies, both as a manager and a leader. Again, we want to get into your definitions and beliefs on ethics, into teaching, into coaching, into life, and then hopefully how you would build a program, because you get a chance to do that with this portfolio. In this way, then it demonstrates, and then using references and so forth, supports those philosophies. Remember, the format needs to be bold, not in a paper format, so there should be headers so that it's easy on the eyes, people can find things. But you have very detailed descriptions of what you're doing here. And that should be about it. There is here on the site one last look for you. When you look at the PowerPoint, there's a great video on bad parenting I'd suggest you look at, and then there's a top 10 coaches and managers going wild that'll make you laugh quite a bit. So the idea of the portfolio, special evaluations, is to be prepared, because in sport it's crazy out there. Thanks.